Hey guys, welcome. Hemel here. Okay, so what are we going to do today? Um, well, I wanted to continue the Rosemary Floriograph. I still have, I still need 100 more to claim this one. I could almost claim it. So, let's go. We have 3 ink bottle. This ink bottle is so interesting. If this ever existed IRL, I definitely buy it. It looks so pretty. Okay, so I got 3 ink bottles to go. So let me just do the daily investigation first. What?
まだまだです。どうです？行動開始。またフィッシュナイフ。うっとうしいですね。よっよっ援護指令を受け取りました。またここまでです。準備はいいですか、クリシャ。
Alrighty. Is that the last one? Oh, that was the last one. And I got 6 seconds to spare. Alright. How many do we got? 38. Oh, we got this one. It's this clear the stage within 60 seconds is the one I have a problem of.
この戦闘、私たちは勝たなければいけません。私が準備はいいですか。
No, I think I just reset that one. No. Did I reach the 50 hits mark? no, I haven't. Finally.
戦場を突破します。私の番です。うっとうしいですね。雷電のごとく早く出ましたね。どうですか。私の番ですね。
Oh, it's finished.
これが伝承の力です。
Right, it's the 60 seconds that I can never finish. EX skill form. Missile barrage activated. Can summon bombs. Deal investigation. 2. Can summon bombs. Can summon bombs, huh?
この戦争、私たちは勝たなければいけません。
Oh, that's
もう
probably
すぐ
it.
戦場に着きます。
Instant death.
ついてきてください。準備はいいですか。うっとうしいですよ。雷電のごとく早くどうですか。
Wait. I wonder if I could kill those guys with just this bombs. Oh, Daryl died from the bomb. Let's try it. Maybe I could get that 60 seconds thingy. Wait, can I use it in here? Because I got it from this one.
私たちは勝たなければいけません。
No.
こちらです。
No, it looks like I can't. Because this is the one that where I got the skill. I guess it's not allowed.
この戦争、私たちは勝たなければいけません。こちらです。周りの崩壊エネルギー反応が強い。警戒を保ってください。 準備はいいですか、クリシュナ。やっはっふっはっせいほっふっはっはっせいはっはっせいはっはっせいはっ準備はいいですか。やっはっやっはっシルクリシュナヘッはっうっとうしいですね。とっ
Okay. Got that one there. And since it's 0 now. Oh, I think we can. I think I can. Just a minute. Let's go shop. Ah, yes. Of course, I'll select Black Nucleus's outfit, even if I don't use her. Okay. Let's see. Where is she? Ah, here she is.
重曹ウサギ 194。今は休んで
See,
る
I
場合
don't.
じゃない。
I haven't even equipped her with any stigmata, and her weapon is the default one. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Before that, let's
天命祭
yeah, let's swap her. Just
館長
okay.
ブローニャを連れてホムセットを食べに行きましょう。
Homu
今すぐに。
Homu happening.
大変です。新しい衣装をもらえてブローニャは嬉しいです。環境は寂しいです。
But of course, I am still going to
崩
use.
壊をこの世界から追い出し
Alright, so let's go with the case records again. Where do we go? Interlude. The cold rain was still falling in the deserted city. A flash of lightning silently illuminated the blurred outline of the dark cloud. Dull rumble of thunder then came. In a dark alley, a figure stood in the thunderstorm. He was covered up in black, with his face hidden in an eerie white mask. Even the cold rain seemed to be running away from him. Suddenly, another cold light expelled the dimness, but it was not lightning. It was a sharp, deadly weapon. The masked man was gently wiping the dagger like stroking his lover's hand. Light red raindrops dripped from the tip of the dagger. Hmm? He slightly turned his head to trace this unusual noise. It was a petrified little girl. Her mouth was stuffed with cloth strips, so she could only make a muffled whimper. So it really is him who kidnapped Sora? How could he have how could this guy have killed Jackal and then kidnapped Sora at the same time? He turned back and saw the reflection of his blood-red eyes in the mirror-like dagger. A voice came out from those eyes, a blood-red voice. The voice was calling him, urging him. There's one more, just one left. It's really it's probably really a serial killer. Or Perhaps, what's the connection between Jackal and Joyce? So he stopped procrastinating. He slowly walked towards the child, his right hand gripping the dagger. The vengeance is almost complete. Peace of mind is so close. The voice became delighted and sweet. Mm! The child's struggle was futile. Her limbs were all firmly tied. The dark figure kept approaching. The rain and the darkness covered up the cruelty which was the mercy of the night. Okay, so I have 2, but this one is like solo. Okay, let me go with the beacon. Inconspicuous things are more of clues rather than obstacles. The murder is like a red string intertwined with the eventful entanglements and relations. And what I need to do is sort out from the facts and expose it. Let's split into groups then. Mophead and I can lead the repair group, Dr. Tesla suggested. After her encounter with the Phantom, she seemed more determined to prioritize fixing the security system. I don't think it's a good idea. Joey is in no condition to go anywhere. One of us has to stay here and take care of him. I'll go with you, Dr. Tesla. I've studied the basic theory of the anti-entropy system. It'd be easier for you if you have an assistant around. Sounds good, but you're injured. Don't you need more rest? It was just a minor sprain. Don't worry. Don't push yourself too hard, Bronya. I can go with Dr. Tesla. It's okay, Sensei. Your research is mainly about biology. When it comes to engineering, I can be more helpful. You should go with them, Hoa. Countless Honkai beasts are wandering the safe zone. They'll need your protection. With you around, even if the Phantom comes again, you'll at least be able to help them escape. I was thinking the same thing. Miss Fuwa has been very helpful. Fine with me. And about that Phantom. Actually, I had collected some data of it during my last encounter with it. You mean like earlier? Moffat will try to analyze the data. Maybe we'll be able to find its weakness. Alright, now that the members of the repair group is decided, the rest can start searching the mansion now. Looks like Raven won't stop until she turns this place upside down. Who would have thought she really cares about that child? After Sora went missing, I resorted to some methods that I didn't want to use to investigate Raven's past. It turns out, after she retired, she adopted many orphans with the money she earned as a mercenary, and Sora was one of them. Orphans adopted by a former mercenary. Sounds juicy. What? All preparations are done. Bronya, Miss Biwa, let's go. Be careful, Bronya. I will, Sensei. Take this transceiver. I've adapted it for remote communications even in areas with high Honkai energy concentrations. Dr. Tesla shoved a transceiver that looks just like a regular phone into my hand and hurried out. Bronya followed her out, who I walked out to after she gave me a nod. Let's begin the search then. The murderer might still be in this building, so try not to act alone at any time. Don't worry, Doctor. I won't let anything happen to you. Geoffrey looks so alone. Doesn't seem like he knows what he's going to do. Geoffrey immediately walked up to Einstein and gently grabbed her sleeves, probably out of fear. Raven should have searched every corner of the basement and the first floor. Let's go to the second floor. It's always the second floor where the body is. Raven acted much faster than we expected. Wait a minute. Wasn't Jackal found at the second floor too? Huh. That's very sus. When we got upstairs, most of the rooms were wide open, including Dr. Tesla's and Dr. Einstein's. I handed her the master key. I could tell from her eyes that if I said no, it would get physical real fast. Sensing our doubt, Dr. Einstein shrugged with a bitter smile. But now it's crystal clear to me how much Sora means to Raven. Turning this room upside down tells me how panicked she is right now. I'm afraid there might be a slight misunderstanding about your observation, Doctor. This is Dr. Tesla's room, and the messy may have nothing to do with Raven. Dr. Einstein crouched down to pick up the scattered papers all over the floor and put them away into a drawer. Such an inappropriate remark for a lady's personal space. You surely are quite inconsiderate, Doctor. The woman beside me couldn't let any chance to mock me slip by. The taunt was relentless. We followed the corridor and found every room searched thoroughly and hastily. At the end of the corridor was the last room where, well, Joyce took his last breath. As we walked in, we caught Raven smashing the wall with her bare fist. Damn it! Excuse me. It was only logical to assume no trace of Sora or her abductor was found here. Not knowing how to comfort her, I looked to the other ladies in the room for help. But to my despair, both of them looked away silently, telling me to face the music. Wait, why do I have to be the one to do it? Ugh. Ugh. I let out a deep sigh before walking up and sticking myself before Raven. A gloating voice came from behind my back. Don't worry, I'll make sure you come out of this alive. Why, thank you, Miss Adler. Mr. Joyce's room was plainly furnished. This might be the only place someone... It's highly possible for the murderer to return to the crime scene. It's nothing like the novels. We're stuck here. No new footprints on the window sill. Of course, I was overthinking. Look for Sora in the room. There is no. Raven kept hammering the wall, venting out her anger and frustration. Miss Raven. I walked her and hesitated for a moment before calling her attention. As if startled by my presence, she suddenly turned around and grabbed me by the collar. It was you! You stopped me! There's nothing here in this damn house! If it weren't for you... You spoke truth. Yes, it was me, and Sora is not here, but I told you clearly that it was merely a possibility. And you chose to stay because you believed in this possibility. I understand how you feel now, but blind rage gets you nowhere. Realizing she was losing control, Raven's face went pale and she slowly let go of my collar. I promised to cure her. I promised! If something should happen to her, taking her here would be the biggest mistake I've made. As if exhausted from the wall hammering, she slowly stepped back while muttering to herself. Seeing her finally calm down, I sighed in relief, but just then, cure her? How would you do that? Is that how you convince yourself to get into this inheritance fight? The moment I saw that little girl, I knew she was badly corrupted by Honkai energy. No way it was caused naturally. You think doing this will cleanse all your sins? Are you truly in this for her or just for yourself? Stop it! The heart-rending situation seemed to be taking a toll on Dr. Einstein's nerves as well. Her sharp words cut deep into Raven's heart like a knife and fueled her rage even more. Stop acting like you got nothing to do with this. Be viewed, scientists. Raven went ballistic in an instant. Watch out! Before I could alert Dr. Einstein, Raven had already got to her. Clang, bang. Two sounds were heard at the same time, and the next instant, everyone froze. Wait, who was it? What happened? Beep you, scientists! Raven went ballistic in an instant. Watch out! Before I could alert Dr. Einstein, Raven had already got to her. Clang. Miss Adler acted fast and blocked Raven's attack from the side. Bang. Meanwhile, to dodge Raven's attack, Dr. Einstein took a step back and fell upon the bookshelf behind. Stay the hell out of my way. Sorry, I cannot abide. After all, Lysol is one of the very few people I could see eye to eye with. Oh, what's this? I followed her eyes. It was a pile of paper notes, neatly stapled together. The color of the papers varied from top to bottom. The top looked yellowish from aging. As Miss Adler bent down to pick them up, I thought I saw a brief moment of hesitation on Dr. Einstein's face. This is... Oh, what a... Doctor, you have to see this. A lead coming from nowhere. Coming from nowhere. I chewed on her words as she handed them to me. I knew what she meant, but I decided to play along for now. Investigation on the Saint Fontaine Catastrophe by Welch Joyce. I didn't even need to finish reading the title to know how important the notes were. Apparently, they were written casually in first person and not intended for publishing. My eyes skimmed through the keywords quickly. The situation can hardly get any worse. I don't know who I can trust. Maybe Tesla and Einstein only. At the beginning, I only wanted to know the whereabouts of the two kids. The forbidden experiments has borne fruit and someone has to answer for it. I feel obliged. I found one of them. Her physiological readings are stable, but I have to end all of this. The two kids, could that possibly be Joel and Bronya? It started with me and has to end with me. This is destined to happen. Is that the reason why he adopted Bronya? I still can't find the other one. Church leaders are behind the experiments and the lab data are well protected. Or maybe it's Sora. Sora, well, we got a lot of potential. It could be Joel. It could be Selly. It could be Bronya. And Sora too enters into that figure. It could be any of four of them. But somehow I found a lead, a broker supplying materials for the experiments. Materials. Seeing this word I wrote a month back makes me sick now. This broker is nothing but a human smuggler. That's probably the gray serpent. To avoid attention, the spore materials were transferred many times, but they all ended up in Saint Fontaine. If only all of this was just a nightmare. Flames devoured everything and leaked Honkai energy turned innocent men into monsters. What have they done? It's been a week since the catastrophe, but the cause remains unknown. It has to be forsaken experiments. I adopted a girl in the orphanage to survive because she was transferred before it happened. I'm glad I did this. That's gotta be Bronya. Every lead was burned to the ground and I almost gave up, but now I finally found something about the broker. He is the one who sourced orphan children as lab rats for them to test on. He's going to lead me to the others involved and eventually Omega 2. No one knows his real name, but they call him the Grey Serpent. I knew it. It's the Grey Serpent. The smuggler. This was the very last sentence, written with such force that the ink almost pierced through. I looked up and found Raven's eyes. Her pale face now looked eerily calm, a huge contrast with the hysteria before. Grey Serpent. So he had gone this far. Looks like a proper explanation is in order, Dr. Einstein. What is Omega 2? What was it that Mr. Joyce has been searching for all these years? This is supposed to be the top secret of Lab 42, Doctor. I can tell you, but not here and now. She eyed Raven while speaking, yet it was not the best occasion or the best audience. Besides, finding Sora is our top priority at the moment. Indeed, now that it's established, Grey Serpent isn't in the manor, we should expand our search to the vicinity. Joachim is running analysis on the phantom data in the lab, and Joey's status requires me to stay close. That leaves searching to me, Miss Adler, and Conan Doyle, I'll have a word with you. As I was baffled by her sudden calmness, she threw this at me and walked out abruptly. Well, looks like I've underestimated your charm, Doctor. Something told me the conversation wasn't going to be romantic in any remote manner. Wait, there's still something in here. So what can I do for you, Miss Raven? Raven glanced at the Miss Adler behind me and took a long pause before handing me something. I unfolded the paper, handed it over, and found an address written on it. This is the Roost, an orphanage facility. I found it. After this, I wanted to find someone reliable to run it for me. But why are you leaving it to someone else's care? If I can walk out of this alive, simply ignore what I just told you. Well then, why me? Because you're a detective, and with a fat check, anyone can be your client. I happen to have enough savings to interest you. You seem adamant in believing you'll meet your end here, and the reason is... I'm not sure if I'll die here, just planning for the worst. I still doubt if it was Grey Serpent that killed Jackal and took Sora. He doesn't have a motive. I know Will Joyce's notes are true, but I was there and I played the part in the experiments. Oh, she was actually part of it. Grey Serpent was sourcing suitable materials, and my job was to deliver them in one piece. And the tests on human subjects were run by Jackal, right? Oh, so I think so that's the reason. So that's the connection. First was Joyce, then Jackal, and then yeah, probably Raven. I did saw her face at the ending clip. Right. Then Mr. Joachim, who was managing the church back then, was also involved. What? How do you know about the church? It's simple. This many children in Fontaine would have attracted a lot of eyes, but no one questions the church. And before it was turned into a manor, this church had quite a good name of caring for orphans from other places. Oh, and that's also the why Joachim was asking for forgiveness in the very entrance clip. You're right, the orphans were the materials. But Joachim, he was kept in the dark all along until it happened. He seemed to really care about the kids. Okay, so it's probably not him. So Joachim was not part of it. But it's like he probably deemed himself responsible because like he was keeping the children and he didn't know what was going on, but he still thinks himself responsible. I see. Last question. You said you didn't believe Grey Serpent was a murderer, but why are you? Because I saw Will Joyce's notes. Obviously, he had something on Grey Serpent. So Mr. Joyce must die, of course. The failed tests most likely caused the disaster. Everyone involved are supposed to take the secret to their graves. But someone kept digging. After killing Mr. Joyce, Grey Serpent decided to tie up all loose ends for good. Exactly. And now my turn has come. Sora has nothing to do with all this. Grey Serpent took her only to get to me. So you're now prepared to face Grey Serpent yourself. It's the only way to save Sora. If I got killed, Sora, I could tell her inner struggle. She wasn't the type to beg for a favor. Don't do anything rash. We want Sora to be safe too. Let's work together to find Grey Serpent and her. Raven tried to say something, but she didn't. She turned around and walked to the elevator. To be safe, I didn't tell Dr. Einstein and Joachim what Raven said. I only briefed them instead. We then followed Raven out of the manor. Okay. Mr. Joachim, are you coming with us? Yes, I want to make sure Bronya is okay. Alright, the transceiver that Dr. Tesla gave us. Let's call them and see what they found. But before I could turn on the transceiver, a wild roar came. What? Honkai beasts are showing up this close to the mansion now? Ugh, annoying beasts. Let's get rid of them quick. Eh? Raven seemed to have noticed something unusual and dashed off in a flash. Don't act alone, Raven! What? This monsters came so fast. This is probably the Honkai beasts are probably manipulated by Grey Serpent. It's a good opportunity to show us the power of your Bartitsu moves, Doctor. Use a special skill to let Raven help enemies. Remember what you promised. Oh, wow. Hey, get me out of here.
奇形の神のささやきを聞きましょう。
Where's Raven? He's gone without a word.
ささやきなさい、ロッキー。
At long last, where's Raven? It was too chaotic. I think she left at some point. Well, as long as we're all looking for Sarah, I believe we'll run into each other again. Since she is a lone bird, so just let her be. The same buzz came up from everyone's con link. Ah, it's from Frederica. Exchange looks and press the answer button. We got a problem. Bronya. Oh no. Becoming a bit more complicated. Shorten CD of main effects triggered by whole team's... Okay. Yeah. First node rebooted. Bronya, Miss Fuwa, let's go straight to the next. Miss Bronya, Dr. Tesla is talking to you. I'm sorry, Dr. Tesla, what did you just say? Is everything okay? I was just wondering why the cut on this node looks familiar. Familiar? Yes, I'm very interested in mechanical engineering, especially the development of weapon systems. This cut doesn't look like it was caused by Honkai beasts. Rather, it looks like damage caused by firearms? I think so too. State-of-the-art models, to be precise. This is weird. We gotta be more careful from now on. If my conjecture is unfortunately correct, then we are in big trouble. But not beyond repair.
Yes, Master.
That's it, the second pivot node. Let me check. Well, they sure know how to damage it, but it doesn't matter, I still can fix it. Bronya, prepare replacement parts. Okay, Dr. Tesla. Howl! This damn Honkai beasts again! The timing is just perfect. Dr. Tesla, please focus on the repair, I'll handle them. To speed it up, I'll have to pull up something special. Ainz, it's your time to shine now.
射撃開始。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。ファイヤー。発射。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。ファイヤー。
Yes, I can't really.
ブローニャ、ザ・ブローニャはみんなと一緒に戦う感覚嫌いではありません。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。ブローニャ、ザ・ブローニャはみんなと一緒に戦う感覚嫌いではありません。
I wonder what weapon is this?
ファイヤー。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。
Wait, can I check what weaponry she's using?
ファイヤー。目標捕捉。
Is that the
ファイヤー。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。
finally?
艦長、次の目標座標を。
Where did it go? Oh, she fixed it? And just when I got my second node rebooted. Well done, Dr. Tesla, but the cut on this node also looks... I can only think of one organization with this kind of superior weaponry in Saint Fontaine. But what on earth happened here? We'd better go fix the last node ASAP, Dr. Tesla. I agree. Let's go. Ah, I didn't even manage to fix to use her ult. Star Destroyer? Oh. Accident. To restore the disabled. Okay. The last node is right over there. It seems we're lucky this time. No annoying Honkai beasts anymore. Wait. What's wrong, Miss Fuwa? My intuition tells me something isn't right. You're saying... After the security system failed, we have encountered swarms of Honkai beasts. But this area is unbelievably clear, which I don't consider to be normal. But we have to fix the last node to reboot the security system. Even if this area is dangerous, we still have to go across it. I'll go have a look first. You stay here, Dr. Tesla. I agree with Miss Fuwa. You're the key to restoring the security system. If anything happened to you, even if Miss Fuwa and I could make it to the last node, it'll be all pointless. If you won't think I should stay here. Miss Fuwa, I'll go with you. Are you able to protect yourself? Yes, don't underestimate me.
地形を観察中。
But if I remember correctly, she also has a weapon. That arm of her is actually a weapon too. Oh, what is that?
目標捕捉。ファイヤー。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。ファイヤー。ファイヤー。発射。射撃開始。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。目標ファイヤー。解禁。ブローニャはみんなと一緒に戦う感覚ではありません。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。体力補充完了。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。目標捕捉。ファイヤー。
There's a device flashing red light. Oh, what is that? What happened? It's a trap. We're in trouble. Oh no. Who are these people? Wow, a flash bomb. Okay. Yeah, let's... Oh... Breathing turns out to be quite an effort. People tend to ignore common things. But when there is a gash in the throat, breathing, which is the most common action, becomes a luxury. So in the end, she really did ended up dead. She pressed her fingers against the gash, trying to stop the bleeding, which proved futile. Her hand feebly dropped down. The agony of suffocating even exceeded the pain of the wound. She struggled to turn her head to look at the body on the ground near her in the heavy rain. He was the reason why she ended up like this. Violence had been with her since childhood. Accomplishing missions used to be the only theme of her life. At least that child can go on a different life path. This thought used to be her strength of will. But now, light footsteps slowly approach. Someone was writing something beside her with the blood that was gushing from her wound. Why? She asked soundlessly. She could no longer make any noise. Why? The writer did not stop, but responded with a peculiar smile. Her pale lips slowly closed. Warm teardrops fell down her cold cheeks. Raven cries came from afar. Okay, so I think this one is the last one. I wonder, will they reveal who the Grey Servant is? Dr. Tesla! Expert Snoop! Expert Snoop! Huh? What an ingenious nickname. What happened, Tesla? You said Bronya. What happened to her? Calm down. She's fine, at least for now. For now? Dr. Tesla, please be straightforward in this kind of emergency. Then let Bronya speak to you herself. Eins, connect Bronya. Doctor, Miss Adler. In a word, Miss Fuwa and I encountered unknown enemies and fell into their ambush. Miss Fuwa is resisting the enemies, though they cannot severely hurt us for now. We are indeed outnumbered. Ambush? Has the intelligence of Honkai beasts evolved to this level? I'm afraid it's not Honkai beasts. While Miss Bronya was talking, there were faint sounds of gunshots and explosions. Honkai beasts do not use firearms. Then what is happening? Is it the missing Valkyrie squad? Yes, it's that Valkyrie squad that lost contact in the mission of hunting the Phantom. Though we don't know why, their hostility towards you two alone justifies our counterattack. But if it's possible, please don't take their lives. Dr. Tessa, they are well equipped. We are in no place to pull our punches. Don't worry, leave that to me. I happen to know a few tricks that can manipulate people's minds. I can paralyze them without hurting them. Then guess I'll have to trouble you to join the fight, Miss Adler. I have a plan. Time is against us. Tell me about it on the way. I'm in position, Miss Zaichi. Copy. I'll leave the timing to you, Miss Adler. Signal me and I'll suppress the enemies with flash bombs. This way the enemies will eat their own medicine. Heat signature for human can still be detected. Who's this? Doctor, look! These are dead Valkyries? I think I once saw the weapon that killed them. It's Raven. I fought her once. It cannot be mistaken. Seems like she clashed with a Valkyrie squad here and she didn't treat them too kindly. Wait, I think I saw someone. That's Sora? She looks weird. Let's go and check it out. Be careful. Grey Serpent could be lurking somewhere. But after we got to the corner, the horrible view before our eyes was beyond words. Rache. Oh no. Well, we already knew from an interlude. This is... In a deep shock, Sora was curled up near the wall and trembling all over. In the direction she faced, we found Raven's cold body. The woman I talked to moments ago was now sitting against the wall bathed in blood. All life was gone from her eyes. Raven is dead too. There's something written on the wall. On the wall, Raven leaned against. We saw the scarlet word Rache written in fresh blood. Not again. Revenge. Eh? It wasn't until then I noticed something else lying at her feet, another body. Everyone else soon caught up to it. That's Grey Serpent? Oh, okay. So Grey Serpent is really already dead. So it was someone else who killed her. It wasn't Grey Serpent who actually killed them, but it was someone else. None of us could believe our own eyes. Grey Serpent was killed too? Raven and him did this to each other? I bent down to check Raven's body and found a fatal strike wound on her neck, cutting her artery wide open. I then checked Grey Serpent and found a similar neck wound, but somehow there was another puncture wound on his back. Why? I fell into a long silence once that was shared by everyone else. I think they were just Grey Serpent's missing body was probably hidden and was probably made to look like they killed each other. So that the perpetrator would roam free, you know. I looked to the only eyewitness. Joachim and Bronya had helped her up. She was in a trance and her face was devoid of any emotion. Sora, can you hear me? Sora made no response as if she was a soulless puppet. Raindrops kept hitting her eyes, but she didn't even blink. Okay. So, who exactly was the mastermind? But I slowly soaked my body in hot water. Ah, so refreshing. What happened? Then I heard sound of a long exhalation coming from the transceiver. Tired already? This is not like you, Mr. Detective. The Mr. Detective I know always conducts himself with grace no matter what difficulties he faces. I'm sorry, Miss Reader. Miss Reader? But fiction and reality are actually two different things. Oh. Anyway, do we really have to talk through this thing? Several hours have passed since Raven's and Grey Serpent's bodies were found. After we managed to carry the two bodies back, everyone got drenched to the skin. I thought that was the end of that episode, but it wasn't. Sora is still in a state of stupor. Dr. Einstein put her in a room to rest. It's late at night. We're all exhausted, anxious, and uncomfortably wet. Before planning the next move, what everyone needs is a hot bath. But before that, I have something to do. I found Dr. Doyle, who is lost in thought alone in the hall. Oh, are we currently Miss Adler? Irene Adler, do you have a minute, Doctor? What can I do for you, Miss Adler? I'd like to talk to you in private, but not in here. I dangled a small delicate device before his eyes. Dr. Tesla's transceiver. I see. As private as possible. Well then, talk to you later. I left a meaningful smile and turned to my room. The bathtub is filled with hot water. I tried the temperatures, slipped out of my bathrobe, and slowly sank into the bathtub. After transitory enjoyment of the small, warm paradise, I turned on my transceiver. I casually splashed water in the bathtub. The gentleman on the other end of the line didn't make me wait long. Are you taking a bath, Miss Adler? I answered his question with a steamy chuckle, and we started to talk in this unusual atmosphere. All right, what do you want to talk, Miss Adler? I'd like to hear your opinion on this case. You must have discovered some clues. Talking about thoughts with others makes it easier to sort them out, isn't it? There was a short silence. He must be debating whether or not to lay the cards he holds on the table. I thought so with a smirk. I'm not asking to hear your opinions for free, Mr. Detective. I have my conjectures. My conjectures may help you too. This is a fair exchange. All right then. Regarding this murder, my biggest question is the murderer really among us? The reason why you have this question is because of Grey Serpent, isn't it? Yes, according to Raven, Grey Serpent knew he was found out by Mr. Joyce that he had been involved in the human experiments conducted in Saint Fontaine before the cataclysm, so he killed him to seal his lips. Jackal and Raven were also part of this, so Grey Serpent got rid of them to spare himself and any future troubles. The logic behind this assumption seems flawless in terms of why done it. But if you put more careful thoughts into it, you will find a paradox. Irene oh, the word written with blood? That's a very cool looking phone. Wait, if this is a transceiver made by Tesla, why is it that it looks like it resembles Rosemary's beam, you know, the purple with a tattoo. I was just wondering. Correct. Rache. Revenge. Oh, wait. What? Rache. Revenge. This word appeared at both of the crime scenes. It's probably Joachim or Bronya, or it could also be Silly. If it wasn't a message left by the victims, then it must be written by the murderer out of some kind of rituality. The situations of the crime scenes obviously agree with the latter assumption. Yes, the murderer has been declaring her motive to all of us by leaving that scarlet word. If Great Serpent was a murderer, then Rache would make no sense. I see you have completely crossed Great Serpent off. Can't say that for sure now, but at least the two murderers defy the hypothesis of Grey Serpent being the murderer. What's more, according to the scene of Grey Serpent and Raven's death, neither of them could have written that word on the wall no matter who died first. I think you're right. If there was no word written on the wall, I would have assumed that they both died after a fierce fight. It's obvious that the murderer never intended to hide. She left the word to flaunt the progress of her revenge. Leave aside the motive, there's something unusual about the wound on Grey Serpent's back. I've checked it. It's a fatal heart injury. There's no way he could lurk around for days and fight a former mercenary to death. I'm surprised that he could even move. The degree of decomposition suggests that he's been dead for several days. A dead man had been walking around and committing murders. This just became a ghost story. Trust me, Irene, I know corpses very well. And that's why I started to wonder if I should still treat this case as a normal serial murder. If logic is no longer with us, I don't know how I should continue my deduction. I slightly adjusted my posture in the bathtub and the water rippled. He certainly wouldn't believe what I just said. But I believe when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. What if we look at it from a different angle? Revenge. Who would hate those victims this much? Then we must look at the common experiences of the victims. A few hours ago, we just heard of a past that involves Jackal, Grey Serpent, and Raven. Human experiments on orphans and the cause of the cataclysm. They were all guilty of this, directly or indirectly. Let's assume for a moment that there is someone who lost everything in the cataclysm, but somehow survived. Then this person who knows everything about it would be a victim of and a witness to that tragedy at the same time. Bronya. That child has a motive to seek revenge on them. Wait a second, I remember Jackal and Raven were invited by Mr. Joachim to help Bronya get her bequeathment. But what if the legacy is just a bait from the very beginning? So Jackal coveted Mr. Joyce's research data while Raven was trying to find cures for Sora. And what Grey Serpent wanted was Jackal's and Raven's lives. I see. It was a remarkably efficient bait. I paused for a moment and gave a sudden chuckle. Sounds logical, but you missed one thing, Mr. Detective. Joachim and Bronya both had perfect alibis. They were with us when the murders happened. Yes, how done it? This is what has been baffling me. My intuition tells me there is paranormal involvement in this case, which all my learning has been forcing my brain to ignore. I guess the legendary Holmes is just a fictional character after all. I see my deduction didn't score highly, Irene. I stood up from the water without making any remarks. The bubbles in my bathtub are running out. I have to go. Where was I? But cheer up, Doctor. I think you're getting closer to the truth. Okay, so. Got. Oh! It continued on from the interlude, it continued on to here. Oh, the talk. Right. Okay, so I guess I'll stop here. Yeah. It's already late. Is probably who. And definitely for sure that Joachim is part of it. Okay, I guess that'll be it for today. So many. But how in the world did they manage to use the Valkyries? Okay, so I got 200 in here. Yeah, I'll get this one first. Perhaps in the next video I might be able to finish Rosemary Floriograph, and we'll find out who is the real culprit, the real murderer. I have a lot of guesses. I think Joaquin could be part of it. Bronya too. Or it could be Silly. Anyways, we'll find out in the last video of this event. I'll see you guys then.